Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Veos and welcome to another video. Today we'll be going over some craft files from Solar Nations. On Discord we have a bunch of new downloads for you, for the Solar Nations community. I guess I can start calling that Solar Nations community. I don't know, but the ones that are meant for war, the craft files that are meant for war, do have BD Armory installed. You will need BD Armory in order to install it, as well as Burn Together. But the civilian ones that aren't meant for war, they are completely stock, so you don't have to worry about downloading any extra mods for those. Now, I'm aware that some of you have been trying to download the Gus class military transport. And you say that it's kind of hard to fly and doesn't work. And for those of you who were not able to download the Gus class military transport because of the fact that it had BD Armory installed, you went ahead and downloaded the other variation of this craft. The other variation being, of course, the civilian type Gus class cargo transport. This does not have any BD Armory, it's just regular stock. But let me go ahead and just go over the ways that you can fly this thing, the different types of pre-flight checks, if you will, in order to make this craft work. Alright, so let's get started. First of all, you have to make sure that whatever cargo you're carrying has to be at least 6 tons or less. If you have more than 6 tons, you're going to have a problem getting up in the air because of the fact that it can't carry any more than maybe 6 or so tons. Make sure that your center of mass is directly in the middle here. It doesn't really mess with the center of mass all that much. It might pull it up a little bit forward, but it's fine. If you were to put your cargo way up in front, then you're going to mess with the center of mass. Your nose is going to be too heavy and you're never going to be able to take off. Now for the military transport, it's kind of the same thing, but a little different because of the fact that the payload is going to be longer if you're going to use a bomb or something of that nature. Even though the center of mass is basically the same as the civilian variation of this, I had to put extra Delta Deluxe wing in the front in order to pull the center of lift forward a little bit. Also, you have more weight because of this right here, the structural fuselage, which houses a 50 cal turret to overlook the blade itself, because of the fact that once this becomes its own craft spinning inside of another one, it doesn't see it, and so it'll shoot through it if the gun was any lower. Like I said, some of you went ahead and downloaded the civilian variation and you added the 2 wings on top, and that's fine, but like I said, you have to make sure that that center of mass is darn near equal compared to when it's not having when it doesn't have any cargo whatsoever. For those of you who were curious about how heavy the stock carpet bomb or the medium bomb firewall class weighed, it's about 5 tons, a little over 5 tons. So like I said before, if you're going to load up these cargo planes, make sure you're either 5 or 6 tons. Alright, so let's get started. Make sure that our cargo is full of fuel. Yes, it is. Except for, there we go. Now hit the number 1 key. What that does is it activates the rocket engine and it decouples the interdrive. Now I have a program here that allows me to just hold down Alt, put my mouse over something and click it in order to switch to it, but you can use the bracket keys. What I'm using now is called Easy Vessel Switcher. Okay, so we're now in control of the blade. Q and E pretty much spins it left and right. You want to hold down your Alt key and hold down Q, and this sets the trim, so that way you can walk away from it while it's still spinning. Now right now when you hit the number 1 key, what it did was it killed 80% of the reaction wheel power. This allows you to spin it up without having to worry about it taking off on you. Now when you hit the number 2 key, you'll get full power. Now it's starting to move. So I'm going to hold down Alt and click on the aircraft, hit SAS, which is the T key. Now at first, because of the fact that it's loaded so heavily, it's going to be a while before it gets up to speed. As you notice, it looks like it's hitting some sort of a glitch that's in the runway itself. So in order to get this thing moving, we can either use the rockets, or we can do a little bit of a little sliding motion here, just to get it going. There you go. All right, once we pass 1 meters per second, it'll start speeding up.
Must go faster.
Okay, so I came in a little hot and I panicked. I started hitting the spacebar.
So right now, just for fun, we're going to go ahead and take off with the military Gus cargo plane with this payload, which is a little heavier than the stock version of the carpet bomb. So yeah, it's a lot of bombs. Pretty cool thing is that when this detaches, there's a little parachute that grabs it, and it it detaches all the little bombs at the same time. But the parachute grabs the fuselage and pulls it out from the group. Now we're going to hit the number 2 key, full power, switch back to our aircraft. Now this is much heavier than the civilian version, so we are going to need a boost from the rockets, which is of course in the description underneath the name of the aircraft. A little bit of a boost. The torque of the engine does want to pull it to the left a little bit, so you're going to have to adapt. Now with this version of the Gus, it is quite heavy because it not only has the armaments but also the same payload. So it's not a jet fighter. Don't be spinning this thing left and right thinking it's going to maintain its altitude. You're going to have to let it get up a little bit into the air before you can make small course corrections.
Must go faster. Go, 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 go!
Okay, so I've had some people ask me, how do you fly the Falcon? It's uncontrollable. Well, it does have a lot of torque. So when you start up the engine and hit the number 2 key for full power, make sure you have a grasp on that thing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have time for today. Thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you so much for being a part of this channel. I am Veos, signing off, and have a good night.